A lot of people might not know that you begun a music career. I guess that's how I want to call it because you do singing and rapping. So I didn't want to label you, but you got into the music industry. Your entertainment name is Safari Bari. You just dropped the EP. I listened to it a few times, loved it. Why music? What made you decide that you wanted to, pursue this?
It was always something like, I mean, growing up in the States, especially in like the Southern Black community, either when you're younger, your idols are either athletes, musicians,
Yeah.
things of that nature. And in the South, growing up in the church, everybody was musically talented. You know, my mother and my father still faithfully go to the church and sing in the choir.
Yeah.
So it was always something that was deep in my background. But once I got older, and now we're talking about how are you gonna pay for college. Singing and music wasn't gonna pay for college. So, I had to make a fine choice. Do I want to invest into trying to do something that's, at the time to me seemed like a far stretch, or do I want to use the God given abilities that I have to try to get into college? And that's what I did. So it was always something that was deep in me that I wanted to do.
How long did it take you to find a studio? Or were
Honestly,
you or was you recording from was you just recording from the crib like on Pro Tools on Fruity Loops or something like that?
I was like, during the pandemic, I was like, oh, I ain't got nothing else to do. Ain't no practice. We working from home. So then I just started buying little studio equipment and I just said, I'm just gonna play around with it. And so my first EP, before I found the studio, I was recording all of the stuff at home. And then after I had recorded it, honestly, I was recording and doing this stuff over for like 6 months. Like it took a lot of time to like get the
Yeah.
quality up there because you get all the static and stuff. You don't know
Yeah.
anything about recording a professional sound. So what I did was I just recorded the drafts and stuff and got my ideas of how I wanted the songs to go. Then once I found the studio, I then went there and re-recorded everything so it could be like better. But it took me probably like a year and a half to actually find a studio to record.
Yeah, man. So I want to get into this. I'm a Southern boy like you myself, so I understand how music can influence your life, and I've listened to the songs. Honest, very honest and emotional songs. A couple of songs you go in to talk about the struggles you've had, and obviously, that's the base you got to go to. Everybody has struggles. But you didn't just leave it out there blank for, oh well, I lived a tough life. You said that you've had depression issues, even thought about had suicidal thoughts. And for a black man, sorry to get real racial on you guys, but for a black man, these are things you can't really say out loud. A black man can't say, like I've thought of ending my own life or I've been depressed. And you decided one of the most, globally accepted norms is this is what I'm gonna tell people. I feel like the music that you release, like this was your way of releasing that honesty into the world outside of that football realm of, well, he's only saying this because of that, or that someone might misinterpret your true intentions. You were very open and honest. And I'm just giving feedback on this. I guess this isn't a question, but it was really refreshing to hear, and I'm really glad that you were able to do that. What made you confident and comfortable enough to release this type of music?
And that's another thing about the Butchers organization. Like, when I was making this type of music and I'm all on the social media clowning, talking shit. I had these long 3-year Instagram rants sometimes where I'm really talking about my issues or
Novels.
my dislikes with the Finnish football community. And I never had a person from the team like, hey Bari, don't say this, don't say that. They've allowed me to be myself to where as long as I'm not doing anything that's damaging towards the organization and players, they allow me to be myself. So when I'm making these songs, I'm sending it to Miko and all of these people. So they probably heard it before I put it out. And like, yo, bro, I like this, or yo, bro, I think this is cool. So, if your president or your teammates listen to your stuff and they say we don't have a problem with it, like I don't care about what everybody else has to say about it. And I think that I've been here 8 years, and as an import, I don't think people really understand once you become local, life changes. People treat you differently. People value you differently. They wanna market you differently. And so like everybody thinks, oh, you EU status, this must be dope. You can play anywhere. I'm like, nah, it's not. That's a big problem because now I got that Finnish flag on my head. Everybody assumes year by year you want to change your team for a better opportunity, like the Finns do. When I'm more like, well, when I was in the States and I signed a 4-year college scholarship, unless hell broke
Yeah.
loose, I'm staying here.
Mm.
And so like and I think that another part of the EP was expressing like as an immigrant, like we're not in our home. Even though a lot of
Yeah.
things are going on in the States, there's family there, there's culture there, there's traditions there. Those are things that I miss. It's things that I want to show my kids about how I grew up that I can't show every day because we're over here. So it was just kind of me just letting people know, like, yeah, we do appreciate the opportunity of being in Finland or wherever you are in Europe, but there's still things about your roots that you have to give up to be here. And so like that's why the music was in a way, it was a way for me to take the helmet and the football gear off and just show people that beneath playing football and doing circles around people, I'm a human being. Like I'm going through stuff. Don't let my football photos and highlights distract you from the fact that I'm going through life outside of that. And that's why I wanted to make the EP, because I wanted people to understand that us as Americans at imports, it's not just about getting money and getting girls. Like we out here living real life day by day, and it's hard.
Someone who doesn't know who you are, what you stand for, if someone just met you on the street, what's the one song you would direct them to that describes who you are as a person if they were looking to get to know you better off your EP?
Of course, if you listen to Hidden Tears, that'll kind of give you a background of my upbringing. But if you want to know more about my personality, it'll be Cocky. I don't think I'm any better than anybody. But the thing is, people take my charisma and my energy and use it as if I'm being cocky. So that's why in that song, I made it specifically for people here. Like, yeah, I made it, and I don't give a fuck as well. Like that's the song that like that's where I am now, because I feel like when I first came here when I was younger, everybody's opinion mattered. I didn't know how to live here because I was worried so much, like you said, about how people view me. And then I got to the point where I realized it's nothing wrong with how I want to live because it's how I choose to live. So I don't give a fuck what y'all got to say at this point. Like those opinions and those stipulations that people have painted for me haven't stopped me from doing what I need to do. And that's why I got to this place. Like you can say whatever you want to be me as a football player, whatever, but I'm taking care of my kids. I'm paying bills and I ain't in jail. So if you got anything else to say outside of that, then whatever. That's it.
You see a good amount of imports that come over and they get second job and stuff like that. Nothing in another entertainment business as such as music, more so whether it's working at a club or at a gym or stuff like that. So when you dropped your EP, I was like, this guy found music over there. Like, where first of all, where do you find a studio at? But hey, you did it though, and like Purvis said, the EP was good.